Peace, family. Appreciate you guys pulling up and stopping in. Uh, Happy Wednesday. I don't know what live number this is for us, but it's been quite a few at this point. I'm excited to be here, though I don't necessarily feel like my normal self. Um, the energy of this eclipse is very, very heavy. And, if you guys are feeling the same, let me know in the chat. But it's, it's been a very interesting couple days to say the least, but we're doing the best that we can. You know what I'm saying? Literally, trying to move with grace and love for myself and others, um, and trying to integrate the lessons. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Hi, Brittany. Hi, love. How are you? Thanks for showing up and liking. So, yeah, man. Housekeeping things. Let's get right into it. So, not much to say, just per the usual stuff. Please join, if you feel called, join the Telegram. If this message reaches you and it touches you, and you feel called to join a community of like-minded individuals, especially in this particular time that we're going into and moving through. Um, you know, Support is going to be necessary, right? People who understand you on a deep level are going to be necessary. People who love you unconditionally, right, and not judge you are going to be necessary. And so that's what we have in the Telegram. When I tell you, it's been so much support. I mean, people are showing up for people in other cities to help them out. Beautiful affirmations, songs being shared, stories. When I tell you, it's really dope to see people come together and really just share their experiences, share their knowledge, share their wisdom, and seeing that play out is just a really, really beautiful thing. So, yeah, it's a huge blessing to be a part of that community. So, please check in and feel free to join the Telegram. I didn't put it in the description, but right now, but I'll do it later for us as well. Just so you know, I do have one-on-ones available right now, so feel free to jump on that if you wish as well. If you need guidance on your journey, if you need guidance from spirit, if you're trying to get in contact with your team and to get deeper understanding about yourself, if you're trying to help move through a particular trauma, one-on-ones are great for all of that. Sometimes we need someone there with us to help us through the tough times, talk us through it, you know, um, give us the truth, but also not judge us. And that's what these one-on-ones provide, an opportunity for us to learn, grow together, and for me to help you heal. You know what I mean? We do energetic healings or whatever it's called in the moment. So yeah, tap in. It's for you to take advantage of, and for me to share, my knowledge, my wisdom, my gifts, um, and tap into spirit, which is again the most important thing for us to do right now as we're heading into this new year, which we're going to touch on a little bit. So today brings in the solar eclipse in Libra at 10 degrees at that. Right. So when we bring in numerology into this and the astrology together, Libra is the house of balance, justice, harmony, things of that nature, relationships. Um, and then when you bring 1 being the first digit, which is new beginnings, and then 0, which usually amplifies the energy either before it or after it. Right. So major new beginnings. Right. Major rebalancing is happening within ourselves. Solar eclipses are known for being a time where change happens, reformation, um, sometimes separation. Right, like these are basically like portals that we're stepping into. It's a great time to also manifest and ask and speak to your team and um, to kind of like help guide where you're going, things of that nature. The veil between, let's say, our dimension and theirs is a little bit thinner, right? So it's a great time to get communications from your team as well, and through meditation and otherwise. So Yeah, it's an amazing opportunity. This particular solar eclipse, we kind of knew, we've kind of been like building up to this, I think, for a while. I've talked about this like briefly on the live that something energetically was coming, and yeah, it's definitely here. Um, Without getting too into the weeds, because I think we're going to unpack this a little more later in what Spirit gave me to bring to you guys this week. Um, in the world, there's a lot going on right now. Um, we've always kind of had wars going on, but there's some particular things that are happening that are particularly interesting. We have um, an election around the corner. We have natural disasters happening all over the country, especially in the South. Just now, my heart goes out to those who are recovering and who have passed on from this hurricane Helene, which definitely hit different in some areas that was unexpected. Um, we'll unpack that because that's very, very symbolic. Um, and if you guys remember, I did have this dream I shared with you guys on, I think it was September the 4th, because I just reposted the shorted or semi-edited version of that live a couple days ago. And one of the first things that we did in that one is we talked about what I saw in my dream, which was this red storm that kind of went over the United States, and you know what that represented, right? So not saying that that was that me predicting the storm or anything, because it was obviously symbolic, but there is symbology in this storm that we're going to unpack as well, and then we're obviously going to touch on how to make sure that you are moving through this in the best way possible. You know what I'm saying? So forgive me for being very like mellow tone today. It just is what it is. Uh, I don't know if you guys are feeling this, but the energy is just super, super dense. Um, Earlier today, I remember feeling like I was literally being compressed, like by gravity. Like it's just super heavy. So I don't know if that's a sign that my light body is getting a little bit lighter and adjusting to what's going on. Um, but yeah, there's definitely a shift happening or has happened. It's here, y'all. And so we need to tap in about that. But anyway, I basically am saying that Libra, the solar eclipse in Libra at 10 degrees, is basically signifying a great new beginning. Things are finally starting. It's here, and it's been signified at least with what's been going on in the world. So things that are going to be important to maybe focus on, or you'll notice that relationships of all kinds, romantic, familial, your relationships at your jobs, et cetera, they're all going to kind of be in some way, shape, or form in review or in a rebalancing, right? And so, take the opportunity over the next several weeks to tap into that. It may not necessarily hit all at one moment, like, oh, this is what spirit is trying to show me, or this is what spirit is bringing to me, or whatever. So, kind of just be in flow and allow things to play out as they should. Just also remember that like how you feel today might not be how you feel tomorrow, right? So just try to stay grounded. The ego is very much still in is doing its best to take back hold, right? Because we just step into a new place, and so it feels anytime you do anything new for a lot of people, especially when this ego thing gets involved, it will feel uncomfortable, and it will try to attach or reattach itself to things that you may have moved on from, or ideas, implant ideas in your mind to make you think that you need to go back, or you're feeling uncomfortable about the shift and change. And it's okay, just show yourself some love and grace, love on yourself, hug yourself, whatever you got to do. Go for a walk, breathe, take a nap. Today it was take a nap for me before the live. So these things will help you just kind of like resettle back in and just say, hey, it's okay. Like, I'm okay. I'm safe. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm protected no matter what is going on. Right. Um, let's see what Brittany says. Yup. I've been definitely feeling it all day. Yeah. This energy is pretty pretty tight right now, pretty heavy, but we're making it do what it do anyway. So yeah. So yeah, that's all I basically have on the eclipse. This is the energy of it, focusing on relationships, focusing on rebalancing, understanding that justice and stuff is going to be coming through. We're already in a place where things are being exposed at a high rate, right? All part of the galactic plan, all by design. So be patient with the process, be patient with yourself, show yourself grace through this. If you're being pushed to do something, try your best to do it. Trust and believe your ego is going to fight you tooth and nail to keep you in the same space, because that's where it feels safe, right? Because when you're afraid, you will not move forward, right? I heard that quote today somewhere, and that is definitely true. So let's see here. All right. So my message to my empaths, let's get to it. So empaths, you got to remember that some of the things that you're feeling, y'all, some of us are really feeling down in the dumps, feeling heavy, and you're wondering why. Well, it's because as an empath, your purpose, part of your job here is to transmute energy. And so a lot of the times we're picking up on what other people are feeling, experiencing, and doing, not doing, but processing through their emotional self. So if there's a lot of chaos in the world, if there's a lot of grieving going on in the world, if there's a lot of sadness and depression going on in the world, you're going to feel that. And sometimes it's just going to hit you in waves, and you're going to sit down and you're think like, yo, like this has nothing to do, like I have nothing to really be upset about. Like I was just fine in the same circumstances several days ago. What changed, right? It just hits you like boom, a wave. Well, as an empath, a lot of that stuff isn't yours. So it's going to be important for you to use affirmations and say things to yourself, to, reclaim your energy and let go and transmute the things that are not yours. So you got to make sure that you're saying those things to yourself, that you're going to transmute this energy with love, right? Imagine yourself in a beautiful ball of light, and in this light it feels just like the sun, beaming on your face, beaming on your skin, and this light is just cleansing you and cleansing this energy that's not yours, and you're gonna send it to be transmuted into the earth, or just out in the world to just be transmuted into love, right? Or just send love to someone. And this is how you get rid of that energy, or this is one of the ways. So another way is imagine yourself, if you're sitting in meditation, let's say you're sitting Indian style and you're sitting on the ground or on a pillow, imagine the energy just washing through you, almost like you're taking a shower, right? You get in the shower and it's like the water is just running down your entire body, or like you're jumping into the ocean or in a pool. And when you're jumping in, it's just whoosh, it's just cleansing you, right? And you're going to send that energy from top to bottom, and then you're going to divert that energy into the earth for Mother Earth to transmute for us, right? Or daughter Earth, however we want to see it. um that's another thing, right? So these are all things that you can do as an empath right now to help yourself transmute the energy that isn't yours, because a lot of this stuff that you're feeling, y'all, some of it is yours, but some of it isn't. So I just want to remind you guys of that, or that's what spirit wanted to me to kind of let you guys know, or remind you of that. It's important to remember that some of the stuff that we're feeling is not ours. We're helping others, which is part of our job, while we're here to, as empaths, to transmute that. It doesn't mean that we're supposed to take on the burden. It doesn't mean that we solve the world's problems, but we simply just must love ourselves and, send love and transmute. We do that, we're good to go. So just be mindful of these things. All right. I also wanted to touch on, there's only a few months left in the year. Like here we are on October the 2nd, and like the new year's around the corner, right? Not the energetic new year, but the Gregorian calendar new year, right? Hello, occasional transients. Thanks for pulling up. And so um with the new year, actually let's unpack that a little bit. I won't go too deep into it. here's what I choose to practice, and maybe this resonates with y'all or not. I typically see the new energy of the new year coming in for me during spring, right? Um, so I basically go based on the seasons. So for me, we're about to go into winter, which is an ending of a cycle. And as we move out of winter, right, which is typically where you see, we'll call it death, right? If you look at, the trees outside, if you're in the US or anywhere in the world, you begin to see trees falling in the fall, right? Unless you're in a tropical place where it's green all the time. It's like fall time. So the leaves are turning, they're falling off of the trees. And then you have this really, really cold energy coming in, and you have snow, and it's just a very, very different energy, right? And during that time, typically we're more indoors, we're slowing down, right? We just came from the summer where we're outside, we're traveling, we're having a good time. So fall, where we're still kind of doing that, and then winter hits and we're kind of like almost like at a stop, right? All that stuff ends. And so I know that we celebrate the new year on January 1st here in the US, um, which that in of itself is whatever, but that's what the collective agrees, at least in this Western society, as the new year, okay, for us. So, anyways, we have literally what, 2 more months, um, to give or take, to really be in this energy of so-called of abundance, right? So 2024 is the year, which is a year of the eight, right? So we talked about this earlier this year. It is about abundance. It's about where you put your attention. It's about yes, it's about accumulating things and energy being moving your way, and things like that flowing to you. But it also depends on where your mind goes. Where your mind goes, energy flows, right? Where your focus goes, the things that you are putting more energy into, those things accumulate like a snowball effect. So we have a few more months, technically speaking, because of this collective agreement that we have, that we are going to go into a new year on January 1st, to use that energy. And so, I'm asking you guys, what have you accomplished with this eight energy this year? Yeah, shit may not, if you review it, may not have gone your way, but I'm really wondering, or have you guys really like taken the moment to assess, like, wow, like this year's gone by really fast. We're in month 10. What have I accomplished so far? Right. And if you're not necessarily satisfied with that, and that's okay, there's still time left to be in this energy, to use that momentum to do the things that you truly desire and that resonates with you going forward. So I really want to challenge you guys to be in that space of focusing on the things that light you on fire, the things that you're passionate about, the things that your spirit is pushing you to do, that truly makes you happy, right? Like, put less energy, less time, less focus on the things that don't serve you, the things that are just distracting you, whether that's a job that you're working at that isn't it. Begin to tap more into that energy, so that you can begin to use that momentum. It's going to be even more pivotal as we go into next year, which is 2025, which is a 9 year. And a 9 year is all about um, transformation and endings of cycles, right? So it's going to be, I had my personal 9 year, I think, last year, and there were definitely some endings. The endings can be challenging. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, guys, I really want you all to really spend some time just reflecting on the year, take an assessment, and just kind of, you still have time to use this energy for your benefit and move into that direction. You know what I'm saying? Occasional transient said, quit my 9 to 5, and I have to manage to still eat every day by living more in on my purpose. I don't have as much money, but I'm definitely wealthier. The money will come. Ashe. Ooh, that is a bar. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, listen. I have some people in my life that have done something similar to you, and it is challenging, but it's very much worth it. So as long as you're following your intuition and your promptings, you know what I'm saying? Just do that endlessly, and it'll always work out for you. So I'm super proud of you, because I know that that's not easy. You know what I'm saying? But I know spirit will always take care of you and always make sure that you have your needs met, in some way, shape, or fashion. I had two jobs myself last year, So I quit that second job. So I only have the one full time. And, that I had to dial my lifestyle back a lot. And that's been challenging at moments, to be honest. Right. But somehow, some way, spirit has always taken care of me. Always, always, always. So, kudos to you for having that strength, because it's not easy. I trust me, I understand, even though I haven't done it fully myself yet. I completely understand. So bravo to you. So yeah, so 2024 also eight is the number of karma as well, right? We don't talk too much about that. We've had a whole video on that when we talked about the abundance, the year the eight during the summer, I believe. Or maybe it was like late spring. I can't even remember. But you can go back to some of the lives and we've talked about things like that. But it's also the number of karma, right? So again, what you're putting your time into, what you're putting your focus on, you know, you can reap the benefits or not from it. And you're really planting the seeds now. And so you may not necessarily see it right away. It may be next year or the year after, but take advantage of the energy while it's still here. So if there's a business that you want to create, I mean, we're in the era of the age of information, right? The age of Aquarius. Technology is going to be key. It just is what it is, right? So even if it's a spiritual business, how do you put that online, or how do you put yourself out there, right? How do you garner a following or subscribers, whatever you want to call it, to do what it is that you're here to do? Because a lot of us, many of us who are going to see this, are meant to heal people, help people, or their passion or purpose has some form of that in it, right? So anyway, it's about putting yourself out there and just doing the best you can. And so I just want to again remind you all, like, listen, you don't have a lot of time left in this energy. I mean, you can start whenever, right? So it's never an end all be all, right? But there's a huge opportunity. So why not seize it? Don't keep waiting. Do it now. Trust me, it's worth it. All right. Okay. So what else do we have for you here? Um, all right. So we're going into a 9 year, and this is going to get a little dark, but we need to talk about this so that you guys can understand what it is. I'm not here to like make you all afraid. We never speak about fear, but we are going to speak facts because it's the truth. And, we always want to speak in love, but it's important for us to understand and know what's happening so that we can know how to move. Going into these next couple of months into the new year, it's going to be integral for us to make sure that we are meditating, making sure that we are tapping into spirit, and making sure that we are being spirit led. So that means doing a level of work and connecting, whether that's journaling, meditating, other healing modalities, getting into crystals, changing the way that you eat, exercising, whatever that looks like for you. You must tap into those things on a daily basis going forward. It is no longer an option. It's a requirement. It's as simple as that, right? Um, Big up, Steph. Thanks for pulling up. Big up, Meek. Thanks for pulling up. The fam is in the building. So yeah, it's no longer a requirement. You just got to do it, right? Why? Because it's going to be important going forward to know how to move, when to move. When spirit tells you to move, you just got to be willing and able to do it. So begin to put it into practice now, so you know the difference between when your ego is speaking to you versus when your spirit is speaking to you. Okay? Because your ego, when you are scared, when you are worried, when you are stressed, which we often are in this experience, it will lead you down the wrong path many a time, right? Because it's holding on to the ideas of limitations of keeping you safe. And like I said earlier today, because when you are afraid, you will not move forward. That's what the ego really believes. That's the ego's mantra, to keep you stuck in cycles as much as possible for as long as possible, because that's where it feels safe. But anytime that you are being pushed to grow, the other side of that has something of great potential, great abundance for you, especially the fact that your life may depend on it. And I'm sorry that that's a little dark, but I got to keep it a buck. It's going to be important going forward, is my point, right? So don't be bullshitting out here. I'm all namaste and love and all that, but I got to keep it a buck too. It's important for me to say these things to you. I don't want to water this shit down so you don't understand that this shit is important. Okay. You got to do it. All the answers are within 100%, which what Via Chakra just said is facts. So this is the energy that we're in right now. We're about to go into is this 9 energy. So what do we know about 9? 9 is a number of transformation. 9 is a number of endings or endings of cycles. Okay. Now there's a lot of healing energy that comes with the number 9 as well. I am a life path number 9, so that's the number of the humanitarian. Right? So I love helping people. It's a part of my purpose, and it's just something that's built within me. I can't even help it. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So how is that going to be important for us going forward? Well, I got to speak about all of it, right? There's going to be a lot of people transitioning next year. There's going to be a lot of systems ending, system changing, and things transforming. Okay. A lot of things are going to come to an end. Now, when things come to an end, it can always be scary, especially for the ego, right? Like whether that's a breakup, whether that's a job that you're ending, whatever it is, like anytime, like high school. I mean, you're probably more excited during high school, but even that can be scary for some people. Like, oh shit, like I don't know, like we're about to go to college, like I don't know how this is gonna work out, right? It could be scary. It could be scary. I'm not gonna lie, but understand that the direction that we're going in as a collective, things need to change. And when I say things, I'm talking about the way we move in society, the structures of society, the systems of society, of which have been mostly from a top down structure. We're going from Saturn, Pluto being in Capricorn for some ridiculous amount of time. Right? Like Pluto being in Capricorn, hopefully I'm saying this right. Yeah, pretty sure this is right. Pluto being in Capricorn for the next I think it's something like 248 years, something like that. So this is about to be in Aquarius, right? So what is Aquarius? Aquarius, the difference between Capricorn and Aquarius. So let's talk about a Capricorn. Capricorn is about structure. This is why, shout out to my Capricorns. I love my Capricorns. There's just something about the Cancer Capricorn connection. Vibes, right? They're literally the opposite sign of us in the zodiac. They're earth sign, very grounded, you know, they're very like on the surface, very hard, but inside they're like some of the most sensitive people. They might be more sensitive than cancers for real. Like they be talking about how cancers be like, oh, crying and shit all the time. We're maybe more visibly emotional, but Capricorns be getting this, they be getting so petty because they are just so offended so quickly. You know what I'm saying? Any Capricorns in here, if you feel seen, let me know. They are good at like, pretending that they don't give a fuck and it don't hurt, but it does. Anyway, but I love my Capricorns, yo. But one thing about Capricorns is they're about their business. They're about organization. They're about structure, which is great. We have been in a negative aspect of um uh Capricorn for a while, right? Again, the negative aspect of it is the top-down structure, meaning that someone must sit at the top and everyone else must follow orders. It needs to be in that order. So there is a level of hierarchy that can be created, right? So if you look at Capricorn as a business in the world, this Capricorn requires a CEO at the top, right? You know what I'm saying? Aquarius is very different. Aquarius is about everyone being equal, right? So no one is better than anyone else. So we come from this era, and I mean, look at how we praise celebrities, right? I know Diddy's the hot topic right now. It's just an easy target, but like, excuse me, many people had that man on a pedestal. They believe he was great because of what he accomplished monetarily, um, who he had around him, who he influenced, his music, blah 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 blah. As time is coming out, more and more things are coming out about his music being written by, music that was stolen, artists who have been taken advantage of, people that he abused, systems of which he participated in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there's some way deeper shit that I'm not going to say today. Anyway, these people that we praise, like celebrities, we think that they are there because they are talented. And unfortunately, in many of the cases in the previous system, many of them aren't as talented as we think, or have a machine behind them on purpose because they fit a particular agenda. I mean, it just is what it is, whether you like me or not, whatever. It's the truth. And trust me, more and more of that is going to come out, right? And we're talking about actors, we're talking about Hollywood and the entertainment industry in general, right? These people that we praise, the Beyonce, the Jay-Z's, many of these actors, they're having to do things. They're having to do things that the average person would not really feel great about just to make it. So not only are they talented, they are talented, some of them, but some of them really have to do things that go against their inner morality to make it and be successful. Otherwise, they will get shunned, right? So there's a machine behind the industry that promotes particular behaviors to push specific agendas, um, to help control the masses. But anyways, my point in bringing all that up is to say the top-down structure, that shit needs to change, right? So now the beautiful thing is we're going into an era of time where you can be, it don't matter what the hell you look like, right? Your talent is your talent. Your talent will get you where you need to go, you see. So that's what's important. So we're about to get into a place where things are going to be more even killed. Now, and when I say even killed, I mean across the board. Like you'll have an opportunity to shine because you're great at it. And people won't feel insufficient because you're shining. Because when you shine, we all shine, which is how we should be in the age of Aquarius, right? Now, in order for us to get to that point, the old world and the old structure must fall. If you look at what's going on in the news around us, there's whether these hurricanes, whether there's people sending rockets to other people's countries, whatever it is, like things are going down. Whether it's the DDs of the world and names being dropped, and CEOs are stepping down from companies left and right. There's a lot of things going on. Okay, and that's because the old world must end. It takes a level of chaos for new beginnings to come in, right? When you were born, it took a level of chaos from you transitioning from your mother's stomach or out of her womb, whether that was a cesarean section or an actual traditional birth, for lack of a better word. That in itself was traumatic and painful. When you have to go through a level of emotional healing and understanding and level up in that way, sometimes it takes getting your heart broken, right? Sometimes it takes you getting hurt or getting sick for you to understand that there's something that you need to change. So this is what we're going through as a collective, or we're about to go through as a collective. Okay. So next year, in 9 year, it's going to turn up. Is what I'm saying to you. And this is not just to make you afraid. I'm going to give you the piece that's important for you to understand what you can do for yourself to make it through this in ease and flow. All right. So occasional transient says Aquarius sun, Cancer rising, Capricorn moon, seen. Hey, my dog. Shout out to my Aquariuses out there. Ooh, that Cancer rising. Interesting. Okay. We here. So love that. All right, so let's transition a little bit, but I hope that you guys are understand what I'm saying. Transformation is the thing, right? And transformation, it can look ugly at moments, just like a butterfly is going through from the caterpillar stage into the cocoon, into the beautiful butterfly. It is a process. We are in that cocoon phase, I would say. Now it's like about breaking out of the cocoon. Sometimes the cocoon, and I think I heard this from Professor Melanie, and I believe it's really true. When you're in the cocoon could be so hard that it takes so much strength for the wings to actually break through that hard shell, because you're in that protective stage. You're in that most vulnerable stage when you're in a cocoon, right? Because you think about the caterpillar. Caterpillar can run, move, whatever you want to call it, when it's slithering and doing its thing. It can move if there's danger. When you're in a cocoon, like you're stuck in this ball, in this protective layer, right? So we are about to begin bursting our wings open, and that takes strength. All right, that takes chaos. Be in flow, allow it to happen. It's all happening for a reason. Do not be afraid. I'm hearing about like shit like chemical plants setting on fire randomly. Like, what the fuck? Like, shit is getting crazy out here. But guess what? You stand 10 toes down on what your spirit team tells you. Follow what your spirit team guides you to do, and you will be okay. You must be the eye of the storm. All right? Literally the eye of the storm. What do we know about hurricanes? Or maybe you guys don't know, but in hurricanes, when you are in the eye of the storm, it is the calmest place in the actual storm. In the middle, it's like nothing's going on. If you ever been in an eye of the storm, I'm in the islands. I'm from the islands, so I'm from St. Croix. And so, I've experienced this in my life where the eye, around the eye is, on the perimeter of the eye is usually where the strongest winds and storms are. In the middle of the eye, or once you get into the eye itself, it's literally calm. It's like a beautiful freaking sunny day outside, right? There's like nothing going on, barely any breeze. It's the weirdest thing, right? So why am I using this example? Well, you need to be the eye of the storm right now. There's chaos going on all around you. But you have to remember that you're being protected and you are safe. And as long as you are following your promptings, you're good. Your job is to love on yourself. Your job is to show up for yourself every day by doing the things that your spirit wants you to do, right? Checking in with yourself, healing, showing up, being in gratitude, 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 gratitude. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the biggest thing. And just being in love, showing love for yourself and others, sending love. When you see some fucked up shit happening in the world, send love to that. You don't need to engage in it. You don't have to be afraid. Send love to those countries, send love to those states, send love to those places that you aren't experiencing that thing. And be a gratitude that you aren't there, because people are really suffering and they signed up for this, right? But that's a whole nother conversation. We don't got to go there today. All right. So I wanted to oh, sorry, I almost missed this part. As we are going into this 9 year, pick now where you would like to be. While you're in this energy of abundance, while you can take advantage of this solar eclipse energy that we talked about earlier in the life, pick where you want to be, right? Pick what side that you want to experience going forward, right? Like, do you want to experience the suffering of the world, or do you just want to be in peace and live your life? Either way, the world will continue. The world's going to do its thing, but you can be in bliss and in peace without it. Generally speaking, except for today, it's been mostly blissful over here, right? The energy is really heavy today for whatever reason. Solar eclipse day, a lot of suffering is going on, whatever. But generally speaking, when I'm in the eye of the storm, and like, it don't even matter what's going on in the world. Half the time, y'all, I don't even know what's up because I don't watch the news. I know that may sound a little ignorant. Don't judge me for it, but I really don't, because all there is doom and gloom on that shit. I usually keep the eye on my prize, like, are the people around me showing love? I mean, things come to me because they're supposed to, and I'm supposed to know, I guess, for what is it that I'm here to do. But I mean, outside of that, I don't pay attention to none of that shit, really. I be in my own world sometimes. You know what I mean? Stuff comes to me, I deal with it, I address it, and I do like talking about these things. I like that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Diving deep into certain things and certain topics. But generally speaking, I don't really give it much more energy than that. Most of the times when I'm seeing this stuff, I just kind of shake my head and keep it moving. I'm not like, oh my God, these people are just so terrible. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Here's some shit sometimes. I'd be like, yo, these motherfuckers are just sick, man. Like they're just. But I try not to be in judgment. But I'm human. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff that they're going on, it's things that they do with children, shit like that. I don't rock with. So it pisses me off. But I don't get too into that, right? You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, focus on the positive is what I'm saying, right? Pick where you want to be. What will next year look like for you? What will the world look like for you? Do you see yourself in a peaceful world? Do you see yourself where the weather is great? Do you see yourself where your food is excellent and healthy? Right? Like you can be in a space where that is the case. And even if you aren't, the energy around it will still be more pleasant if that's the case. So next year, I'm claiming it now. It's going to be a great year for me. It's going to be even better than this year. And you should be seeing that every year, to be honest, every day. Today, tomorrow, it's going to be better than it was today. And then when tomorrow gets here, I'm going to say that same thing. Imagine the level of momentum that you will build up because the universe will respond to your power, your throat chakra. The things that you say will come true. This is why affirmations and things are so important. Okay. So I want you guys to realize that or just remind you of that. Shamika says, gratitude for you in this community. Oh, thanks, Meek. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for being a part of this community. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. When I hear things like that, it just reminds me, like, why it's important to be on your purpose. You never know who you're going to help. You never know who you're supporting. You know what I mean? It could be someone way on the other side of the country that, you're supporting and helping or inspiring or making feel better or giving understanding to. You never know, bro. Just listen, y'all. Just fearlessly step in your purpose. Trust me, it's worth it. All right. So that being said, I kind of am all over the place, but let's talk about Hurricane Helene. I'm sure you guys have heard in the news at this point about this hurricane that kind of like ran through the South and really did some damage to North Carolina and Tennessee. And there's a lot of symbolism and I think purpose behind the storm, especially for the level of damage that it created, especially in the Carolinas and Tennessee. Is very interesting. You typically do not see storms of that magnitude do that type of damage at that high of an elevation in some of those places, because the parts that looks like were hit really, really terribly, places like Asheville, North Carolina, etc., flooding. And you would think that because it's so high. I mean, I don't know if y'all have ever been to Asheville. It's a really chill, like cool little hippie city, in my opinion. It's up in like the mountains, right? Like right next to the mountains. Beautiful, beautiful place. And you typically see storms do more wind damage in places that are lower in elevation, and it kind of like the mountains tend to dissipate storms. But like some odd flooding happened. And I could understand if there was like mudslides, but it wasn't even like, it was just like crazy flooding. Just insane. Just insane. So unfortunately, a few people look to have been rest in power, unalived during that event, which can happen during these storms, especially of that magnitude. So much love sent out to those and their loved ones. But let's talk about the name, right? Because something about this stood out to me. I was like, Helene, why does that stick out to me? Well, I looked up the etymology of the word Helene. And so, all right, so Helene can be linked. So it basically comes from a Greek word. Helene can be linked to meanings like torch or sun, and is associated with Helen, right, which is the Greek word of Troy, a figure whose beauty and influence stirred major shifts, and was a very deep symbology in Greek mythology as well, right? So I'm thinking to myself, like, why is this happening right before an eclipse, right? Like, there's a little bit of a connection here, right? And so once I saw that kind of represented the sun, and then we're realizing like, oh shit, there's a solar eclipse, right? Like we had our lunar eclipse last month. Now we're in a solar eclipse. That's not coincidence, right? Like it's very interesting. So what I think that this paints is that there's a shift, right? There's a new dawn. There's a new energy coming in, right? A very, very powerful energy, right? So what do we know about storms and what they represent? We've talked about hurricanes before during that September live that I reposted this week. Storms are usually harbingers of change and renewal. That's what storms represent. So hurricane represents spiritually, right? So you have this torch, right? So it represents the burning down or the changing, right? You have the sun coming in, and there's the solar eclipse happening as well, right? It's almost like this hurricane is the catalyst to change. So it's clearing out of the old is what it represents and making room for new growth, right? So it is very spiritual, the timing of this eclipse. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I know it sounds insensitive, but these things are meant to happen. RPs to those who are lost, but like this is all purposeful. This is all happening. And let me tell you something. Earth is Mother Earth, Gaia, however you want to, daughter Earth, whatever. She's cleansing herself because we have allowed the fuckery to go on for too long. Okay. We've been using plastics and things that we don't need to use. There's other choices at this point, but we're only keeping those things up because of the industries that run this place want things to stay the same. We're still doing dumb shit to the waters. We're still damaging the planet in stupid ways. And it no longer needs to be like this, right? So we're being asked to reevaluate, realign is basically what I'm saying to y'all. Hold on one second. Somebody wrote something. Metaphysical Mike. What up, what up, Mike? Meta Mike in this joint. This eclipse literally feeling like an internal volcanic explosion, internally clearing away everything that doesn't serve our soul. Mike coming with the heat as always. Thank you, Mike, for your take. I agree, Mike. I definitely agree. This storm is about cleansing. It's about washing away. It's about again, chaos, destruction, in order for the new to come. Because after a storm, I've been through many storms in my life, growing up in the islands, obviously. Though like the trees might be fucked up, it might not even be a leaf on a tree. But once that storm is gone, it is the most peaceful, like the air is clear. I can't describe to you like what the air smells like. It's just something that you got to experience. It's just like, it's almost like a newness, right? And then eventually the trees grow back. It might take some time, okay, for these things to happen, but it's really like a cleansing. I mean, in all honesty, right? Like we can even think of the human body. We should be cleansing the body like this every quarter, right? Or at least at a minimum every 6 months, you should be doing a detox. So by the way, if you haven't done a detox this year, I implore you, I encourage you to do so, because you definitely need to detox. I don't care if you're vegan, plant-based, eating meat, whatever, you got to do it, because unfortunately in the place that we live here in America, the food isn't the greatest. All right. The air isn't the greatest. And we're also constantly getting things like heavy metal in our air. That's a whole nother conversation. But anyways, our water, unless you have like the best filter systems on your water, the water that you have that's going to your home is pretty toxic. All right. It just is what it is. So you're going to have to detox. The largest organ in your body is your skin, and your skin absorbs everything. So whether you're using, some of y'all still using Jergens, no offense, but if you think Aveeno and Jergens is helping you out, it really ain't. I can assure you of that. The amount of chemicals, just simply look on the back of the label of your shampoos. So anyways, my point is that these chemicals are everywhere. All right, they're everywhere. And so your body's constantly absorbing these things, and you're not cleaning yourselves out. So many of us who have like guts and stuff like that, sometimes y'all ever seen like a skinny person with a big gut? Why is that? Like they really got to cleanse. That's all of their colon is backed up. You have something like, what is it? Like 20 to, I forget the exact number. I don't want to, somebody can Google this. Okay. We live in the Google era. Figure this out. But your intestinal tract, I think, is something like 20 something feet long. It doesn't seem like it, because you're like, damn, like my stomach is just here. But for those people, when you have like that big stomach, it's because you need to cleanse. A lot of that is fat, but a lot of it is actually just backed up feces, to be honest. So let's take this moment to push ourselves to make sure that we are detoxing every 3 months. It just is what it is. All right. Stephanie said, so that's why I randomly feel nauseous since yesterday. Wow. Mike says, I was talking to this woman on the phone about this organization for meeting new people, etc. And she has the nerve to tell me, I feel your anxiety spinning out of control. How judgmental. Never met her. I couldn't believe she said that, and never met her telling me what's wrong with me. That's interesting, Mike. That's interesting that she said that to you. So do you feel, Mike, that she is projecting onto you? Do you feel like maybe she was feeling that way and that you, because sometimes as spiritual beings, like we will I know that sometimes my presence makes people uncomfortable. Like people feel very seen because I'm an empath. Like people feel very seen when they're around me, and like they sometimes will shun away or like feel uncomfortable. And I'll just be like, okay, I'm just being my fun, bright, friendly self. And they're just like, awkward. And obviously they can have their own anxiousness and anxiety. But the point in saying that is like sometimes we'll make people uncomfortable based on our light shining or our own gifts. You know what I'm saying? 100%. She told me I need to know a plan for the rest of my life. She doesn't know anything about me and my life. Oh yeah, that sounds like projection to me, big dog. Well, here's the thing. Right now, I guess this is the perfect time to mention this. As we go into this 9-year, people are going to be breaking down. 9 years and 7 years. I feel like 5 years, 7 years, and 9 years. Especially 7 and 9 years. It can be intense. People are going to be breaking down. Okay. People are going to be going through it. People are going to, this is going to sound extreme. Just walk with me. People are going to want to do things like unalive themselves because they're going to feel lost. They're not going to know what to do. The weight of the world is going to be pushed upon them because they haven't been walking in their purpose or they haven't been walking with spirit. Right. So it's like spirit is going to, every time you miss that cue, or you don't listen, spirit like turns the dial up a little bit more. It's like, okay, you don't want to listen. So now that things are accelerating, things are going to be turned up even higher, right? This is why I'm saying to my folks out here who have plans on creating a spiritual business or something about it, whether that's reading tarot cards, whatever it is you're supposed to do, writing a book, do that, because there's people in this world. Like there's a reason, I know that I'm jumping all over the place, but I have a point to this. There's a reason why you've been given so much trauma in your life. Whether that's sexual trauma, abuse, physical abuse, whatever you've gone through in your life, a lot of fucked up shit. People who have really traumatic lives are some of the greatest healers. You're meant to do that, obviously, for your own evolution, right? But also, it's also purposeful because you can help someone else who's going through something similar get through it without having to go through what you went through. When we look at the Professor Melanie's, do you know why she's so impactful? Is because she shares information about the shit that she's been through in her life and how she got through it so that we can do it in an easier way. Because she says this all the time. She's like, yo, I didn't have the same support that y'all have now. This information, when the master teachers, when you think about the Delbert Blairs, the Bobby Hemmets, the Sister Myras, we can go on and on and on and on and on about the many, many, many people who have done this work when it wasn't cool. Like now it's becoming more and more acceptable to be spiritual than it was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? There probably wasn't a lot of money in that either. You know what I'm saying? But now you can really do this healing work because the world needs it. The world is becoming more and more aware that, hey, we've been doing shit the wrong way. The pandemic really has helped open people's eyes up, which is, again, that's another great point to make, that even though a lot of suffering happened during a pandemic, for some people, they really thrived in that environment. It helped them get closer to themselves. It helped them elevate their lives. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people started their own businesses and never went back, to their old jobs, etc. Like, a lot of things changed during the pandemic. Again, when pressure is put on us, pressure makes diamonds. You know what I'm saying? So understand that this is the part of pain, is part of the evolution. Like, we need this for change. So next year, that's what it's going to be. A lot of ending of cycles. Relationships going to be ending. People are going to be transitioning on. It just is what it is. Things are going to look bleak, but I want you to know that it's all for a purpose. It is all working out for us, because it's time for us as a collective to ascend. This is what this energy is in support of. There's a lot of fuckery going on this planet that needs to stop. Period. Just is what it is. So family, I'm saying this so that you can be prepared when these things happen, that you're not going to be shocked. You're like, okay, cool, bet, I know what's happening. Cool. Eye of the storm energy. I'm the eye of the storm. And when you're the eye of the storm, and when your cup is full and you can give love to others, you can send that love energy when you're meditating and you're doing that exercise we talked about earlier in the live, and your cup feels full, you can send love to these places that are going through war and suffering and all that. You can send love to the collective. And guess what that does? That reverberates. That energy goes somewhere. That simple action and act can make a world of a difference, not just in your world, but in the world of someone else. Because love is one of the most powerful vibrations that exists on this plane. Dead ass. Simple as that. So listen, if you truly care about the world like I do, life path line energy, but maybe you don't, whatever, but you feel like you can do something, then that's what you can do. That's what you can do to help your people, your loved ones, whatever. Send them love, period. It don't take much more than that. All right. Oh man, Mike going off in the chat. What you say, Mike? He said, I fuck with your vibe, bro. You awesome. Hey, I rock with you too, brother. I misread the fine print in my soul contract before stepping into this present lifetime. No way I signed up for some of this cosmic bullshit. Hey, Mike. Yo. Mike, facts, bruh. Sometimes every so often I have that conversation like, bruh, I do not want to be, why did I sign up for this shit? Like, we hear Mike. I feel you, bro. That is hilarious. Occasional transient says, love is the highest vibration. Big facts. That is the biggest fact, yo. That is the biggest fact. Like, honestly, love and joy are up there. You know what I mean? Which is, again, why I spend so much time really reminding you all and reminding myself to follow your passions, step into and doing the things that truly light you on fire. So I'll give you this example from a personal experience. Like, this energy has been heavy on me all day. I've been fighting with myself all day. Like, I've been tired. I did not feel like coming on here. I'm not going to hold you. I almost was like, we might have to skip this week. But I'll tell you what, I'm so grateful that I did, because right now I feel like I'm on fire. I feel like I just had like 2 cups of coffee. I can go run 2 miles right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it, but that's how I feel. You feel me? So listen, family, this is what Spirit wanted us to kind of share and talk about this week. But yeah, what we're sensing again is just a larger cycle happening. And we're going to be going through some deeper transformation. So this is a signpost for personal, societal, and planetary. Okay, so this is your notice. The shit has started. The transformation is here. And side note, if you listen to Queenie, she's a numerologist. She says that actually the new year starts in September, which is actually pretty interesting. So she might be really onto something, being that this is kind of happening right now, dude. Like, everything is happening purposefully, I promise you. But know that everything is working out in your favor. Everything is working out so that this world can be better. So let's get it, right? Mike said, I've been fighting with myself for eons of space and time. Bruh, I mean, the adage, yo, I feel you, does not even encompass, bro. But I understand. Hey, we getting it right this time, bro. You hear me? We not coming back after this, man. We gonna make this our last time. Or we gonna be, you know what I'm saying? We trying to. I'm telling you, after this lifetime, I am not coming back to this human experience. I say that, and then watch my soul be like, oh, well, they need help again. Why don't you go back down there and help them out? No, I've done my time. Anyways, I digress, man. Listen, that's all I've had for you guys today. I'm happy we ran through this in an hour. This is great. We're getting better at being more concise. Um, but here, family, yeah, just remember what you're here to do. You know what I'm saying? Um, be balanced, be in love with yourself, be the eye of the storm, okay? And everything is gonna work out. Mike said, next lifetime, I'm gonna chill with you on a beach with a bunch of baddies. Yo, facts. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Matter of fact, there's probably some other existences, but we don't even gotta be on Earth. I'm probably at some dope beaches on some other planet, bro. We might have to do that. Where it's not as dense. But I'm with you, my brother. I'm with you. I love that idea. Occasional transient said, thank you. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Well, listen, family, I appreciate you that y'all were able to pull up and come through. Thank you again for joining this space and, giving me the opportunity to share this message with you all. I love every single one of y'all. Sending you love and healing. Remember to stay grounded in yourself. Know that this energy, just to recap, the empaths out there, know that a lot of this energy that you're feeling is not yours, right? A lot of this is just a collective energy. So remember, listen back to this on how to transmute that, right? Through meditation, seeing yourself in light, imagine golden light, brushing on your skin, you know what I'm saying? Like you're on a beach and you're tanning, right? To just cleanse you. Set the intention for you to be cleansed of that energy, and anything that's not yours, you release. Okay. Allow, imagine yourself, even being in the shower, even while in the shower, just, set the intention that this water is cleansing you of the stuff that isn't yours. Send that energy into the earth when you're grounding. Send that out with love, whatever. Send those things back with love to those people, right? Like, it'll be all right. We got this. And remember to hit the like button, family. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Britt. I appreciate you. Yeah. Make sure y'all like this up. Share with someone that you think would enjoy this or needs to hear this message. And I'll get up with y'all next week. Yeah. Salute. It's been wonderful as always. Love y'all.